Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. Oh boy, our room is flowing. Oh goodness, that wasn't very good. Let's try that again. Overflow room. There we go. That's better. And we're still working our way through Haydn as we go backwards through the alphabet. And the letter H, and after Haydn we get Handel. The H's are going to be quite something. Actually, Hansen comes before Handel. There's some of that too. Oh, there's all kinds of cool stuff to come. But we were talking about Charles Mackerras's Haydn on Telarc, and here's the other one, or one of the other ones. I think there were three. The Military and the Drum Roll Symphonies. Fantastic. These are all fabulous performances. My goodness. I mean, Mackerras was just brilliant in this music. And the Orchestra of St. Luke's plays fabulously. Thank God Telarc was there. I said before, I just wish Mackerras had done more in Haydn. I really do, but Haydn doesn't sell. It doesn't. Maybe the Haydn Symphony Crusade will help it. If you haven't watched the Haydn Symphony Crusade, please go have a look at the Haydn Symphony Crusade playlist. It contains videos on all 107 symphonies, all of them with musical examples and analyses and delightful chats by me. Every single one of them. You can take the journey at your leisure. But speaking of people who should have done more Haydn, but also didn't because they were Mozart guys, George Sell. This is his only set of Haydn symphonies. No, actually, he did 88 and a couple others. But here we have the first set of London symphonies, numbers 93 through 98. God, they're fabulous. Holy man. We've got, of course, the amazing 93 with the incredible bassoon fart, which is in here. But the other interesting thing about this, which really sort of stuns me, is how bad the major labels were at promoting the best of what they had. It's almost as if they made recordings and then they had no opinion about them, because these were re-released in this particular CD incarnation. It's why I keep this stuff, because it's just so interesting. On the Odyssey label, which was the CBS, Columbia in those days, then Sony, super duper cheapy budget label. So they were giving away the family silver for nothing. Absolutely nothing. These are just super stunning. But they were like that with the whole Zell legacy until the big box came out. Then they realized everybody knew what they didn't, which is that Zell was incredible. So we have this first set of London symphonies on Odyssey. Very inexpensive. Crazy, isn't it? Then we've got Pierre Monteux's Haydn Surprise and Clock symphonies. These are nice. I don't think they're great performances, but they're nice. And you also get the Brahms Haydn variations, which are lovely, absolutely wonderful. Monteux was definitely a Brahms guy. He played the Brahms string quartets for Brahms. So, yeah, and Brahms apparently was really impressed. He said, whenever I want to hear my string quartets, I have to come to France or something like that. It was one of those, putting down whoever he could put down. But, these are nice. And, they're part of that lovely Monteux legacy, natural, musical, effortless, a little bit, period instruments had something to offer us in terms of impact for these symphonies, but, what the heck. Then, speaking of period instruments, there's this thing, Harnoncourt and the Concentus Musicus Wien doing the horn signal. Boy, you should hear the horns in the horn signal. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And the Foyer Symphony, which is number 59, and La Chasse, which is number 73, which also has the horns just belching and blasting their way through it with total screaming, shrieking vulgarity. You have to wonder if it really sounded like that in Haydn's day. It may have. If it did, okay. I think it's fun. It's exciting. It really is. But, sort of the whole point of instrumental technique was to try and eliminate some of that, sound like, flatulence and whatnot. But yeah, maybe they couldn't do it in those days. I suspect they could, or at least they tried. Now, of course, they try to do just the opposite, to put all the flatulence back in. It's all speculative nonsense. Anyway, the performances are exciting. And Harnoncourt's Haydn with Concentus Musicus, well, you never knew, right? It could be all over the place because it was Harnoncourt. You never knew what you were going to get. Let's do one more, shall we? Oh, yes, the 7 last words. Oh, the orchestral version. The one you all should be listening to, not the string quartet version, not the piano version. The oratorio version is very good. Haydn made that himself too. But we have the Tapiola Sinfonietta with John Sturgards on Ondine Records. It's a very good performance. It really is. I like the period instrument performances of these, particularly Jordi Savall's, who did it twice, believe it or not. But unfortunately, they have readings. I mean, why would you want readings between the? I mean, that's the way they did it back, for the way the piece was originally written for this, cathedral, which has not a cathedral, it was a church in a cave, Santa Cueva, whatever it was called, and apparently it was all darkened, and then a priest would give a sermon, and then they would play on each of the 7 last words, which are really phrases of Christ on the cross, and then they would play the orchestral bit. So that probably stretched it out to like weeks. And then, of course, it ended with the earthquake, which is fabulous. I love the earthquake. It was the piece that invented the triple forte. Go Haydn. So there's actually 9 movements because you have an introduction, and then you have this series of the 7 words, and then the final earthquake. It is an incredible piece. Totally unlike anything else written in the 18th century. It was incredibly popular in Haydn's day because it was regarded as inherently sublime and spiritual, and the language of classical music was that of opera buffa. So to be able to do that as Haydn did was an incredible achievement. And these 7 words are all slow movements. Even the introduction is a slow movement, but they're extremely varied and full of wonderful melodic ideas and variety in terms of harmony and orchestration. And it's just an incredible piece. So 71 minutes. There, like I said, it's something you really should get to know in its original version. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.